Goodbye City Life. Growing a crisis in Japan back home as a pandemic shifts priorities. The global pandemic has prompted a wholesale rethinking of life choices around the world, but in places such as Japan, where rigid work cultures offer few alternative paths, the pandemic has brought a rare opportunity for residents to reimagine how their futures could not should look. In Tokyo and the surrounding areas, the rethinking is particularly stronger among people in their 20s and 30s. According to a survey of more than 1,000 people by a government office, these people were seeking alternatives to Tokyo's corporate grind, marked by long hours, crime-burdened subway communities, and strict corporate hierarchies. About one-third of the people in their 20s and 30s living in Greater Tokyo said they had taken steps in the past 6 months to move to rural Japan. While the figures represent a small sample, they nonetheless point to a trend that is unfolding during an important time for Japan's rural area, whose populations are rapidly shrinking with a combination of elderly residents and declining birth rates. In recent years, national and local governments have been promoting rural revitalization efforts to attract younger residents to the outskirts of Japan. Japan's new Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, is looking to wrap up such efforts. It is our area outside our major urban centers that are of the utmost importance, Kishida said in an October 14th news conferences insisting that a digital transformation will address quandaries such as the population of rural areas. They don't make televisor opening sequences like they used to. The opening sequences of television shows do several jobs at once. They must pay tribute to the stars and set the tone for the episode to follow. Above all, they must intake the viewer to commit to the show for the next 30 minutes or more. For decades, networks thought the best way to do this was to create complex and costly sequences. No one watching the ornate map unfolding at the start of each episode of Game of Thrones in 2011, for example, would have doubled that it was a lavish production. It was Girls, which had its premiere on HBO in April 2012, which took a radically different approach Lena Dunham's comedy of millennial manners embed. It set It knows at the industry's pretensions with a sequence that consisted of a single detail card on screen for precisely 7 seconds. When the race of sturming series viewers started consuming several exposed back-to-back, and the brevity of those 7 seconds gained additional catch in 2017, Netflix launched its Skip Intro function, enabling viewers to dispense with opening credits and get straight to the drama. The move was controversial. Purists saw it as an affront to the art and appreciation of television. Others were happy they no longer had to press fast forward. Indeed, it may be that opening credits are no longer necessary, but if elaborate sequences go for good, the desire for something more luxurious and mysterious may repair. When they are done well, they can be as compelling as short films.